Let's talk about the Guess the Word game, which is for Homework 3 in 15110 this semester. Here is the game running, and I've made no guesses so far. There's a word here, and I'm going to guess letter A, which was not in the word, so I missed. Now I only have 9 misses left, and this message said A is not in the word. I'll guess B, also not in the word, probably guess some vowels. E, oh look, it's in the word. I, O, U. Each time I guess a letter, if it's in the word, it's displayed. And if it's not in the word, I miss. I get a miss, and one more gets subtracted from misses left. If I guess a letter again, say like B, I'll guess it again. B. It says you already guessed B. If I guess something that's not a letter, like say percent, it said percent is not a letter. Okay. So if I run out of guesses, E, A, I eventually lose. When I lose, it says game over. Press any key to play again, and it shows me the word with letters in red where I did not guess them, and letters in black where I did guess them. So I can press to play again, and press any letter. I'll press A, E, I, O, U. Not a lot of vowels in this one. Oh my gosh. F, R, S, T, L, M, N. Oh my gosh. C, H. Oh, looks like it's going to be kitchen. And I'll guess K, and there it is, and I got it, okay? So I won that one, and game over. So now let's talk a little bit about how you're going to write this, now that we've seen how the game is actually played. To begin with, we've actually given you an init function. Here it is, okay? You don't have to write this. This is given to you. Well, inside data, we're going to store a few important values. One is the word we're trying to guess. We also gave you this function getRandomWord, which will actually pick a random word. You have to have the file homework3-words.txt, which we supply, in the same place as you have your homework3.py file. GetRandomWord goes into that file, reads the words, and picks a random one. Kind of cool. Guesses is a string of the guesses, the letters that you have guessed so far in the order that you've guessed them. Of course, initially you haven't guessed any. Misses left are the number of misses that you can have, the number of mistakes until you lose the game. Data.message changes, but it starts out with press any letter. So when we start a game, see that press any letter right there? That is just displaying data.message. And we'll change that message at different times. And whatever that message is will be displayed right here. Also, the misses left, see that 10? That is these misses left right there, okay? And finally, we have data game over, which tells you whether or not the game is over. There are 2 cases when the game is over, that you got the word or you didn't get the word. In any case, when the game is over, that's when you would display game over in here, as you saw previously. You can actually change these. You can add to data if you want to. Our sample solution used these and only these. This is the init from our sample solution. But again, you're free to do whatever you want to do, as long as you get this working. Okay, now comes some hints and suggestions. Okay, so you're only going to write 2 functions. You're going to write key pressed, and you're going to write draw all. So in key pressed, there's really 2 different situations: if the game is over or if it's not. If the game is over, let's make the game over. Game over. And I did not play that one very well. Now when I hit any key, we're going to start over. So normally you wouldn't call init. You'd only let the system call init to start your game, to initialize data. Interestingly though, when the game is over, when I press this key, it's a good time to call init again, because it just sets everything up again. It sets data to all these values, which are exactly what we need to start over again. So I suggest that if the game is over in key pressed, you just call init. Otherwise, some things for you to bear in mind is, first, if I hit like uppercase M or uppercase A, they come in as lowercase. So when you get the event.key, you want to convert it to lowercase. There's a method that will help you with that. Next, we wrote the function getErrorMessage, as you recall. Okay, let's say I do K here. GetErrorMessage. If I gave it the letter K, the guess is MA, and the word that we're looking for would have given me back this string right here, this message. K is not in the word. So you've already written the part of the code you need to take whatever guess they had and get the error message you need based on that guess. Okay? Now that error message could be actually the empty string, which means it's not an error. That means they got it, which is great. So if it's not an error, then you want to check if they've won the game, right? So if I do say E, that wasn't an error. You want to right away check if I won the game. Well, you also wrote a great function for that. IsWordGuessed tells you if you've guessed the whole word. You wrote that function. You can use it there to tell if you won the game at that point. Okay, and if you did, of course, you want to update your model accordingly. So you want to update data to do what? Well, there's two things we have to update here if you just won the game. The game is over, and you probably want to have the right message when the game is over. Okay, now if you didn't actually, if the letter's not in the word, like let's do Z, and Z is not in the word. It says Z is not in the word. So remember that the error message came back from get error message, and you're going to want to do something with that. Make sure that you subtract away from your Mrs. Left. And then handle the case that the game is over because I just lost. Okay. There's some smaller details for you to manage, but that is the basic approach for key pressed. In draw all, a couple things to bear in mind. Small thing, but the fonts that we used were Arial 26 bold, that's this one, and Arial 20 bold, that's the smaller ones, and that's it. You don't have to match perfectly, but those are the ones we used. Okay, so you're always gonna draw guess the word, pardon me, and you're always gonna draw Mrs. Left. Okay, then comes the message. Now, if the game is over, we draw some stuff here, and it's different if the game is over and the game is not over. Right now, the game's not over, so we draw what the guesses are. I'll keep making bad guesses until the game is over, and then look right here. This is going to switch to saying game over and pressing the key to play again. So when the game is over, I draw game over here. When the game's not over, I draw my guesses in here. Okay, fine. Now, the hard part inside of draw all is dealing with this part down here. Okay, even down here, we have something that's going to help us. So to begin with, you wrote the function make display word. Make display word will take your guesses. It'll take the target word, which isn't displayed here, and it will give you back this word, basically the letters, but the dashes where they should be. So make display word will give you this. This is basically our display word. Okay. Now you want to go through each letter in the display word, and you want to actually create text for each letter. So this is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different calls to create text inside a loop. So we're going to have an index run over the length of the word or the display word. They're the same length, right? And like, let's say when the index is 0, we're drawing the first letter. We use I, the index, to compute the horizontal location that we're going to place this. Okay? If there's 7 letters, then we sort of divide the canvas into sevenths. So about a seventh of the way between each one of these. And as a hint, we start the first one about halfway over. So you might want to say, like, a straight up hint. We used I plus 0.5 at some point in the computation of where these are horizontally. I'll let you think about that for a while. In any case, so now what you do is you go through each letter and you find the horizontal position where you're going to place it, and you just display the ith letter from the display word. Okay? Well, that's mostly true. That's how you do it until the game's over. Okay? And when the game is over, though, then something else happens. Okay? The game's about to be over. And when the game is over, bam, instead of making black dashes where I did not guess the letters, we make the actual letters in the original word, but in red. So you'll have to test if the game is over somehow. And if the game is over, you'll have to test if I was going to draw a dash in the display word. And if that's the case, then instead I'm going to want to draw from the original word in red instead of black. This is a pretty detailed set of hints. You might want to watch this video multiple times. You might want to revisit the video as you're actually writing the application. And of course, we're always here at Office Hours and on Piazza to help you. Have fun and good luck.